University, I call upon the Chancellor, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, to declare the convocation open.
Okay. I declare this convocation open.
I now invite Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan to deliver the Chancellor's address.
Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, parents and guardians, and most importantly, the graduating students, the class of 2026 of Krea University, and our esteemed guest, Professor Kaushik Basu. On behalf of everyone gathered in this auditorium, a warm welcome and congratulations to all the students here. All of you stand at the threshold. The world is waiting, and what you do next is entirely yours to write. The world you're entering is very different from the one when you joined the university. The past year has made the world's unpredictability impossible to ignore. Events far beyond our borders now shape our everyday realities. At the last year's convocation, I spoke about AI. I quote from that. In just a single decade, we have moved from typing commands into machines to holding near conversational dialogues with them. Artificial intelligence, once the quiet province of science fiction, now lives in our pockets, powers our decisions, and co-authors our ideas. I mentioned being AI ready is important. Being just AI ready isn't sufficient anymore. Being AI smart and an ethical and a responsible user is your ticket to opportunity. Exploring AI and the millions of AI models are available freely and leveraging them to make a difference to the society we live in is clearly our and should be your expectation. The question is no longer simply what we can build. The defining question of your generation is how do we build wisely, fairly, justly, and inclusively? What has Krea prepared you for? Krea was founded on a conviction that the world does not need just mere graduates. It needs leaders, not by title, but in thought, in character, in consequence. We brought Nobel laureates, entrepreneurs, and policymakers into your classrooms, not just to teach, but to challenge and expand your world. Krea's model of research-led curriculum and the interwoven opportunities for students to learn art, science, and business is the preparation that's required for the new world and to face all the grand challenges. You leave here carrying more than a degree. You carry adaptability, that is the readiness to keep learning long after any classroom. You carry human-centered judgment, empathy, creativity, cultural intelligence. You carry interdisciplinary insight, the rare ability to link philosophy with technology, mathematics with ethics, ecology with enterprise. These are not soft skills. They are the hardest skills there are, and there are yours. What leadership actually means. Leadership is not about authority, prestige, or being the loudest voice. The leaders I've most respected in science, in enterprise, in public life, shared one quality above everything else. They made the people around them more capable than they were before. A key leadership outcome and quality. A researcher who celebrates others' work, an entrepreneur who builds institutions, not just companies, a policymaker who listens before he or she speaks. These are leaders. This is what Krea modeled for you. Through every professor who stayed after class, through every mentor who treated you as a peer, every moment we asked you to lead before you felt ready, delivering with integrity. Leadership is all about delivering with integrity and no excuses. Leadership is a daily practice, and it begins not when you get the title, but today. That's the day. I want to finally leave you with 3 thoughts. The first, stay curious beyond your expertise. Breakthroughs happen at the edges where your knowledge collides with something unfamiliar. Go there, and go there often. The second, lead from where you are. You do not need a title to set a standard. You do not need authority to act with integrity. Just start now, in your first role, your first team, your first conversation after you walk out of this convocation. And the third, come back. Come back to Krea. Krea will grow stronger every time one of you, the alumna, returns to teach, to challenge us, to share what the real world has taught you. Our institution is not finished, neither are you. Today, you stand not just as participants in the future, but as its architects. Go forward with boldness, compassion, and clarity. Prepared not just to face what's coming, but to shape it. You've been equipped. You have shown the energy and the courage. Onward with confidence. Go lead the world. Congratulations, and wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Lakshminarayanan, for those inspiring words. I now request Vice Chancellor Professor Nirmala Rao to deliver the welcome address.
Chancellor, members of the Governing Council and Management Board, distinguished guests, graduates, families, and friends. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you all today. Graduation ceremonies are always very special and moving moments I get to be part of as Vice Chancellor. As I stand here today, I'm filled with both the significance and astonishment of this moment. And I imagine many of you are feeling something quite similar. That sense of reflection that comes from marking both an ending and a new beginning. This is a day to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our graduates, their creativity, courage, persistence, and the countless hours of hard work they've poured into getting here. It's a time to recognize how far they've come and to honor everything they've accomplished. But it's also a moment of transformation, filled with excitement and anticipation as they move forward into the next chapter of their lives. That's why graduation is often seen as a modern rite of passage, a powerful ritual of change, The awards we confer today are do no more than recognize academic accomplishments. They mark a profound shift. In crossing this stage, our graduates become something new, graduates of Krea University. There are few institutions of higher learning in India where students focus on actively listening to one another, where they learn how to question, where the institutional culture reinforces openness to new ideas and perspectives, and where one is academically respected for changing one's thinking in considering better arguments and reasoning. Krea is one of them. Still quite young, Krea's education is already known for its breadth, choice, and interdisciplinarity. It's special, and this difference matters if society is in need of more broadly educated leaders and citizens. The case for breadth centers on the proposition that the greatest challenges facing the world today are of huge complexity and global in scope, and best tackled by people whose education enables them to integrate different fields of knowledge and work across conventional academic boundaries. A broad, flexible curriculum makes it easier to give students greater choice, a greater responsibility for their own education. And that's what we offer at Krea. Our students talk across academic boundaries all the time, learning from one another, as well as from a multitude of extracurricular activities. I would say they live in hot houses for unstructured learning. Krea's education is also special for its depth, reflecting a strongly held belief in the formative and substantive importance of deep inquiry. This view is rooted in the idea that innovation and inquiry into new areas have educational and intellectual antecedents, exploring and understanding what's already known and developing disciplines of mind. Through our mentoring and supervision system, Krea places exceptional emphasis on individual learning and teaching and on developing the capacity of students to reason effectively. From academia to sport, our students showcase their commitment, tenacity, and adeptness through their engagements within and beyond the classroom. Aarti Venkatesh was awarded the Founding Generation Fellowship by the International Congress of Infant Studies. Kailash Ramesh became the youngest nominee in the History of Entrepreneurial Excellence Award at the 2026 Founders Conference in Singapore. Aishani Tiwari and Gayatri Tendulkar for co-authoring a paper on protein dynamics with our faculty members and the National Center for Biological Sciences. Prerona Jana's paper was published in the International Journal of Biological Macromolecules, while Mugdha Kinikar was selected for the Earth System Governance Mentoring Initiative for 2026. Saumya Brata Basu joined the Mishra Center for Financial Markets and Economy at IIM Ahmedabad as a research fellow. And Sparsh Makaria was selected as a Link Fellow to work with the Massachusetts General Hospital and the Harvard Medical School on computational neuroscience research project. Yashvi Sharma represented India at the IKMF World Championship in Hungary and won a gold medal in the kettlebell category. Of course, these are just a few highlights of our students' stellar performances. We are fortunate to build on the strong foundations of highly talented and engaged academic colleagues who are committed to the core purposes of research and education and who share the institution's ambitions. Their outstanding accomplishments are reflected in their prestigious publications, research, and the recognition they received through major awards and fellowships. Research papers and articles published in high-ranking journals and books range from such topics as the early diagnosis of Alzheimer's using machine learning to women writing through history, through generations, to Karma and Lola, a children's book by HarperCollins India and Tate Publishing UK. Dr. Arindam Chatterjee was elected a Fellow of the Linnean Society of London, while Dr. Govindapuram Suresh and Dr. Jyoti Kumari were awarded prestigious grants by the ICSSR. Dr. Suresh Chandar received the Baldrige Foundation's 2026 Award for Leadership Excellence in Education. Dr. Sampura Panigrahi, the Fulbright Nehru Postdoctoral Research Fellowship. and Dr. Raj Purohit received the Tagore National Scholarship from the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Alongside attracting outstanding faculty and students, we continue to develop and strengthen the university's academic portfolio to ensure that Krea's global reach and attractiveness continues to grow. Earlier this year, the university's senior team met with the senior leadership of Macquarie University, Australia, and Northeastern University at Boston to discuss new collaborative initiatives. These deliberations culminated in the establishment of a set of dual degrees programs, which enable our students to study at both institutions, reflecting a shared ambition to advance knowledge and develop the next generation of talent to address global challenges, particularly in the cutting-edge fields of data science, AI, and machine learning. Finally, a huge congratulations to the recipients of our honorary degrees today. It's a privilege to recognize those who make exceptional contributions to the life of our university, our country, and the wider world. And to do so at graduation allows us to celebrate their achievements in the company of the next generation of talented Krea alumni and to share with them experiences that might inspire their own remarkable journeys to come. Graduates, on behalf of our university, may I offer you the very best wishes for your future and trust that the next stages of your life proves to be the most fulfilling and enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. We are privileged to have the Honorable Dr. Justice Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud with us today. He is unable to be here in person owing to unavoidable circumstances at the last minute. We truly appreciate his participation in the convocation ceremony online. Justice Chandrachud served for nearly 25 years as a judge of the Bombay High Court, as Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, as Judge of the Supreme Court of India, and as the 50th Chief Justice of India. Educated at St. Stephen's College and the Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, he earned an LLM and SJD from Harvard Law School. He practiced at the Bombay High Court, was designated senior advocate in 1998, and served as Additional Solicitor General of India. He has gone on to become one of the most influential jurists of his generation. Justice Chandrachud's judgments span constitutional law, human rights, commercial law, arbitration, and taxation. He has strengthened constitutional protections of dignity, liberty, and equality while championing gender justice, disability rights, and free speech. His landmark decisions include recognizing privacy as a fundamental right and affirming equality across caste, religion, and sexuality. As Chief Justice of India, he spearheaded the digital transformation of the judiciary, including the live streaming of court proceedings and expanding public access to judgments through initiatives such as ESCR. His collection of speeches, Why the Constitution Matters, reflects his abiding belief in transformative constitutionalism, an enduring commitment to constitutional values, institutional integrity, and democratic governance. Legal scholars opine that his dissenting and concurring opinions, his 481-page dissenting opinion in the 2018 Supreme Court Aadhaar judgment, his partial dissent in the 2023 marriage equality case in which he championed the right to adopt, and his concurring opinion in the 2018 Sabarimala case, while not garnering as much public attention, can be the lodestar for future jurisprudential developments. Justice Chandrachud, on behalf of Krea University, we invite you to address all of us gathered here for Convocation 2026. Sir, you're on mute. No, you're not audible. Uh, while we sort that out, I will move on to Professor Kaushik Basu, and then perhaps we can bring back Justice Chandrachud. Professor Kaushik Basu is Professor of Economics and Karl Marx Professor of International Studies at Cornell University. He was the chief economist of the World Bank between 2012 and 2016, and chief economic advisor to the government of India 2009 to 2012. Professor Basu received his PhD and MSc from the London School of Economics and a BA honours from St. Stephen's College, Delhi. He is a fellow of the Econometric Society and a recipient of the Humboldt Research Award in 2021. He has held visiting positions at the Institute of Advanced Study, Princeton, Harvard University, Princeton University, and MIT. In 2008, Professor Basu was awarded the Padma Bhushan by the President of India. A certain correlation between nosiness and humility, colleagues aver, makes Professor Basu special for economists. He has worked on social choice theory, the mathematics of welfare economics, development economics, measurement issues in poverty, inequality, well-being, demography, industrial organization, game theory, economic methodology, and various intersections of moral philosophy and economics. In each of these fields, the experts, a grudging lot among economists, I am told, sit up and take notice, even those who have disagreed. Professor Kaushik Basu, thank you for being here with us today. I invite you to address us.
Thank you very much, Akhila. Chancellor Sri Lakshmi Narayan, Vice Chancellor Nirmala Rao, Honorable Chief Justice, you will hear him with a lag, D.Y. Chandrachud, students, professors, and all members of the Krea University community. It gives me great pleasure to be with you on this very, very special occasion. It is also an excellent opportunity for me to interact with a university that has, in such a short time, shot into prominence as one of the world's finest centers of higher education and learning. I have been following with hope and excitement the journey of Krea University since its founding barely 8 years ago. I say hope because universities and institutions of learning and research are important, not just for the immediate benefits they confer on the students and staff and faculty, but because of the quiet but critical role they play in the rise of a nation, and indeed the world, as history has repeatedly shown us. For the long-run advance of a nation, stretching over 10 years, 20 years, maybe hundreds of years, there may be nothing more important than the nurturing of higher education and of the questioning mind that was already referred to earlier today. Here I must emphasize that to develop a nation's intellectual prowess and soft power, which in the end is more influential than hard power, we need the technical subjects like the sciences and engineering and also parts of economics, but we also need literature, philosophy, and the liberal arts. I'm glad that Krea University is straddling multiple disciplines, which again was referred to earlier. Students who are graduating from this university and their families and friends, I'm assuming many of you are here, have every reason to be proud. Congratulations to all of you. As you go out into the larger world, some to find jobs, some to experiment with business, and some to study further. There will, of course, be moments of uncertainty and even despair. But never give up hope. You have been lucky to get an excellent education. Carry it to the world, for yourself, for the nation, and I must emphasize, for humanity at large. Any human being anywhere deserves opportunity and hope. You must use your advantage to bring that little hope to the world. As I talk to you, my mind drifts back to my own college days, first in Delhi and then in London. I had gone to London to study law, which was my family profession. And it was almost on a whim that I turned to economics and research. I still recall the nervousness with which I telephoned my father in Kolkata to tell him about my changed career plans and life plans. After a short period of ups and downs, and there were, I turned lucky. I had found what I loved most: to reason, to analyze, to do research, and to teach. In some ways, I have to confess, it was a selfish life, because research and writing papers is such an obsessive interest that it absorbs you. I would do it whether or not I was paid for it. Paul Samuelson, one of the greatest economists of all times, whom I got to know in his late years, summed it up perfectly when he said that he had been incredibly lucky throughout his lifetime because he was, I'm quoting him, overpaid and underworked. He meant the hours of work that he did was not work for him, it was pleasure. I indulged in this selfish joy from 1976 when I finished my PhD to 2009. An unexpected break came in 2009 when I was chairman of Cornell's economics department. I was in Delhi for a short vacation. I got an unexpected phone call from the Prime Minister's office. The caller, a joint secretary, said, Dr. Manmohan Singh wanted to know if you would agree to serve as the chief economic advisor to his government. I was thrilled, but I told her what was true, that this was too big a decision for me to say yes or no on the phone, and that I was leaving the next day back to America. She called me back in 15 minutes and asked if I could come to the Prime Minister's residence the next evening on my way to the airport. And I did. 3 months later, I joined Dr. Manmohan Singh's government. That turned out to be another turning point. I moved from pure economic theory to the world of policy making. When I came to policy making, I made a vow. I told myself, since my life until then had been one of pure indulgence in what I enjoyed, that the joys of research, now that I was turning to policy making, I would do so with only one purpose, that of serving society. That is what I tried to do during the 7 years that I worked as a policymaker. 3 years with the Indian government and 4 years after that with the World Bank. The engagement with the Prime Minister, the detailed work designing intricate policies with no other concern but to promote economic well-being was deeply satisfying. A friend once told me that most people spend 80% of each day being selfish and 20% on more altruistic pursuits. I have no idea if that is true. But if it is, then I have done much the same, though in a slightly different way. I spent the first 34 years of my working life being totally selfish and doing research, and the next 7 years trying to be totally unselfish. That's roughly the same percentage that people spend daily on being selfish and unselfish. Turning to more serious matters, Dear students, we must all put in a little thought and effort into making the world a better place. Being here in Chennai, one of my favorite cities, a place of great music and dance, and not too far away from the birthplace of Ramanujan, the mathematician, of course, my mind turns to India. India's economy is navigating a difficult phase. In part, this is because of the global situation and caused by the United States' erratic and irrational tariff policies. But a lot of the problem is also our responsibility. Professor Raghuram Rajan recently expressed doubts about India's official GDP growth rate of 7.7%. I have not dissected the GDP data enough to directly comment on this, but there are smoking gun signs of his being right. There is evidence of the economy stalling. India's investment rate, the most important driver of GDP growth, has fallen steadily from 42% in 2008 to 34% now. India's youth unemployment is high at over 16%. Net foreign direct investment into India has fallen to near zero every month for the last 22 months. The rupee is also weakening. A lot of this can be and must be corrected. The first step in designing good policy is to look at data and statistics, as Raghuram Rajan has emphasized. It needs self-confidence to admit certain indicators are not going right. Even certain indicators under my charge are not going right. We must have that self-confidence. That is the first step to making corrections. The next need is to draw on the talent in the country, and there's an ample amount sitting in this room. India has a huge amount of talent, including in government, because India's bureaucracy, and I worked closely with that for 3 years, is highly skilled. We have to draw on this talent and allow our best minds space to act. Economics is a strange subject. Parts of it are common sense and intuition, and parts of it are as technical as an engineering exercise. I remember my time in government designing spectrum auctions by turning to some of the best research from around the world. The dividends can be huge for this kind of research being brought to the policy world. India has big potential. Let us work to realize it. Friends, as we all know, the entire world is going through turbulent times of a kind rarely seen in history, with pandemics, unnecessary wars, and the erosion in the demand for labor caused by the rise of AI, which is a slow process, part of life. We are seeing rising levels of anxiety, conflict, and hatred. We must have the moral courage to resist hatred. We must look beyond our narrow group identities and recognize that we share a small planet in a vast universe. As W.H. Auden had reminded us on the eve of the Second World War, we must love one another or die. End of quote. Students and friends, the task ahead is big, but we have the capacity to take it on. We need the science, we need the arts, and we need the moral courage. As you go out into the world, do well for yourself, flourish, but also keep alive the ambition for humanity at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Vasu. What you have said, your eloquence, your passion, our graduates are lucky. These words will linger with us long after this day. We did a quick check there. We are grateful to welcome Justice Chandrachud once more. Give this another go. Welcome, sir. Thank you for addressing us at Convocation 2026.
Thank you very much. The Chancellor, Dr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Vice Chancellor Professor Nirmala Rao, Professor Kaushik Basu, Professor Satya Chakravarti, members of the Governing Council, faculty, parents, and above all the students. If I was speaking today in my mother tongue, which is Marathi, I would have called you as the Utsav Murti, the idols for celebration this afternoon. Dear graduates, one of the distinguishing features of your generation is that you have documented your lives with extraordinary diligence. Future historians will be able to reconstruct your university years with remarkable detail. They will know far more about your daily lives than previous generations ever showed them. Convocations, however, have a way of reminding us that even the most detailed record tells only a part of the story. I learned that as a judge as well. The graduates are expected to be thinking about the years that lie ahead, but many are probably occupied by a different question altogether. That is, where exactly did all the previous years go? Time behaves strangely at universities. While you are here, it can seem painfully slow. And then suddenly you find yourself sitting in a convocation hall wondering how it all passed by so quickly. One day you arrive and one day you graduate. Everything that matters somehow happens in between. Parents are making a similar calculation today, and faculty are as well. A curious thing happens on occasions such as this. We gather to celebrate what comes next and end up reflecting on how swiftly yesterday became a memory. That reflection acquires a particular resonance at Krea University. Krea is still a young institution, founded less than a decade ago by a group that included Raghuram Rajan, Anand Mahendra, Kapil Vishwanathan, Lakshmi Narayanan, and others who felt that higher education would need to evolve with a changing world. The questions confronting your generation would rarely fit nearly or neatly within a single field of study. That recognition forms part of the intellectual setting in which many of you have spent these years. The world in which you graduate has developed an enormous appetite for certainty. In public life, confidence is mistaken for wisdom. Certainty is mistaken for understanding. Anybody who wants to think revises a view when presented with better evidence. In the law, as we say, there is no case which is open and shut. Someone who is willing to admit uncertainty can appear less persuasive than somebody who claims to have all the answers. This is one of the defining paradoxes of our age. In an age which is marked by uncertainty, geopolitical in nature, financial, or just personal, we tend to pride the certainty of a soothsayer over the realist who tells us that life is uncertain. My experience as a judge taught me that the most humane, just, and compassionate solutions emerge from the tangled, unscripted stories people bring before you, as opposed to the black letter of the law. During the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, B-59, a Soviet submarine, was operating near Cuba. The crisis had already brought the United States and the Soviet Union into a dangerous confrontation. Governments were exchanging warnings and military forces were on alert. Nobody had a clue how the standoff would end. The crew of B-59 had spent days underwater and now had been cut off from communication with Moscow. They knew a crisis was unfolding, but they did not know whether it had escalated into a war. Conditions inside the submarine were deteriorating. The air conditioning had stopped working, and temperatures had risen sharply. Then, American naval forces located the submarine and began dropping non-lethal depth charges. These were intended to urge the submarine to surface. The crew aboard B-59 heard explosions around them and thought that they might be witnessing the beginning of a Third World War. The submarine carried a nuclear warhead, a torpedo, and the officers and board had the authority to launch it without waiting for approval from Moscow. Two senior officers wanted to proceed. According to accounts later reconstructed from the incident, the captain declared, "We are gonna blast them now. We will die, but we will sink them all." But one more approval was required. Vasily Arkhipov, the vice chief of the Navy, refused. He calmed the situation, withheld his consent, and so the torpedo was never launched. Had the weapon been fired, historians believe that the consequences could have been catastrophic. Years later, when the details became widely known, Thomas Blanton, director of the National Security Archive at George Washington University, summed up the event in a single sentence. The lesson from this is that a guy called Vasily Arkhipov saved the world. It is an extraordinary statement, a reminder that history is sometimes shaped by people whose names rarely appear in textbooks. People who possess no certainty about the circumstances before them. They who nevertheless understand that a decision taken in haste can carry consequences far beyond the moment in which it is made. Above all, the stories like this answer the question which is present in the mind of the young generation today. Do I count? Archipov's world was different from the world you inherit today. Yet the need for sound judgment remains remarkably familiar. Arkhipov had too little information. We live in the world today face quite the opposite. We wake up to more information than previous generations could have encountered in weeks, perhaps years, even a lifetime. Every subject comes with competing experts, competing claims, and competing certainties. The challenge is no longer deciding where to look, but it is deciding whom to believe. The balance in life is not just between right and wrong, but between right and wrong and wrong. Artificial intelligence is changing the way we learn, work, communicate, and create. It is one of the most remarkable technological developments of our age. A headline today in the Indian Express screams at us that SpaceX soars 23% on debut, making Musk the first trillionaire. Yet every technological advance carries consequences that are not immediately visible. A recent report by the United Nations University reminds us of the environmental cost of AI, which extends far beyond carbon emissions. By 2030, related AI data centers would consume 945 terawatt hours of electricity annually. Their water consumption could reach 9.3 trillion liters, an amount comparable to the needs of 1.3 billion people in sub Saharan Africa. Those figures are not in an argument against technology. Every generation benefits from innovation, so long as we develop guardrails which ensure that innovation is accompanied by wisdom. Human progress depends as much or more on asking what should be done as upon discovering what can be done. The future of AI is still being written. The most important decisions will concern how these tools are used and the purposes they ultimately serve. There is another challenge that many of you know far more intimately. Research increasingly suggests that constant digital engagement can come at a cost. Increased smartphone use has been associated with higher levels of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. The very technology is designed to connect us can also encourage comparison, distraction, and a persistent sense that our attention belongs somewhere else. There is quite a bit of irony in that. The most connected generation in history is also searching for movements of disconnection. A device designed to save time has acquired an extraordinary ability to consume time. Permit me, therefore, to offer one modest suggestion. Guard your capacity for solitude. I call them moments of digital celibacy. Take a walk without documenting it. Read something that has not been recommended by an algorithm. Spend an evening in conversation where nobody reaches for a screen every few minutes. Much as they may appear insignificant, These habits preserve something valuable: the ability to hear your own thoughts before the world supplies your own voice for you. Above all, it enables us to listen to others with acceptance and inclusion in a world which is fraught with polarization and division. The years ahead will present questions for which there will be no answer key. Some will concern technology, and others will concern the environment. Many will concern your own personal existence. Many will concern the kind of society we wish to build together. When those moments arrive, I hope you will remember that progress and patience are not adversaries. Conviction and generosity can coexist. Serious purpose is entirely compatible with a sense of humor. The world rarely needs more noise, but it almost always benefits from greater judgment. In judgment, we ought not to be judgmental. There lies both the danger and the distinction. It has long been said that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. If there is one habit worth carrying from your years at Krea into the decades ahead, it is the habit of resisting easy certainties and thinking carefully before deciding what to believe. I wish you courage in moments of doubt, wisdom in moments of success, learning in moments of failure, and companionship of kindred souls for the journey ahead. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2026. Thank you, Krea, and keep up the good work. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for those rousing words and the behest to enjoy the silence. Our graduates will be especially inspired on their special day before they embark on the next phase of their journey. Thank you. We now come to the conferment of degrees on the students of the class of 2026. I invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nirmala Rao, to initiate the conferment of degrees.
Thank you, Akhila. By the authority vested in me by the Governing Council of Krea University, I hereby declare that the class of 2026 has fulfilled the requirements for the award of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business Administration, Master of Business Administration, and the doctoral degrees. I now invite my colleague, Dr. Prithvi Datta Chandra Shobhe, Dean of the School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences, and Associate Professor of History, to come onto the stage and announce the names of the graduating students from the School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences.
Good afternoon. We'll start with Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Paki Chachra, highest CGPA in Economics. Sevani Kanak Dilip. Asta Katuria. Ayushi Taparia. Arul Shankar. Avani Bipin Kumar. Dhruv Raghavan, Kanika Dua, Mohan Veer Madan, Narayan Tejas Hari, Pranav Hari Krishnan, Priya Vishwanath, Sagar Gar, Sai Shreya Seturaman, Shauryaman Banerjee, Tia Kandelwal, Vasundhara Oja, Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Research in Environmental Studies, Stuti Grace Mondal, Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Environmental Studies, Shraddha Rajmohan, Mahika Piyush Wadhwa, Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Research in Literature, Shipra Sanjay, Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Literature, Ria, Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Literature and Arts, Shimul Ganguly, Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Politics, Baka Azad Shahrukh, Pashupuleti Naga Satish, Punya Choksi, Sharda Ananya Nilesh. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Research in History and Politics, Srijani Mukhopadhyaya. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Economics and Environmental Studies, Chaitali Gowda. Dhriti Hariharan. Ishita Ann Abraham. Neha Kanna NR. Varun Malav Raiji. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Economics and Politics, Akriti Manikandan. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Literature and Politics, Radha Ragamalika J. Three-year undergraduate program, Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Anya Tripathi. Arnav Agarwal. Bhumkar Mihika Harshal. Dharmagari Varsha, ISCGPA in Economics in the three-year program. Isha Turakia. Maitreyi Mutembar. Nathan Upaturu. SR Varnika. Sunita Kumari. Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies, Mashruwala Radhika Munesh. Sveya Shreyansh Shah. Bachelor of Arts in Politics, Ashna Deepesh Ajmera. Kush Verma, Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies and Politics, Darshita J, ISCGPA in the double major. I now invite Professor Shivakumar Srinivasan, Dean of Research, Krea University, and Professor of Physics, School of Into and Arts and Sciences, to announce the names of students graduating in sciences.
We'll start with Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Biological Sciences, Ishani B. Reddy. Mansi Shagritaya. Sumedha Gupta. Urvi Ashish Kadambi. Yashvi Sharma, highest CGPA in Biological Sciences. Bachelor of Science Honors in Biological Sciences, Vasumana Sharma. Bachelor of Science Honors with Chemistry in Chem, Anurag Karthikeyan. Prakash John Matthew. Bachelor of Science Honors with Research in Computer Science, Arav Amit Akali. Vivek Surya Madhuri. Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Science, Aditya Swami. Sia Girisa Balla. Yukta Shri Doki, highest CGPA in Computer Science. Bachelor of Science Honors with Research in Mathematics, Aryan Jeppu. Bachelor of Science Honors with Research in Physics, Pranav Raval. Bachelor of Science Honors with Research in Psychology, Devashri Naresh Jain. Krea Hapin Lalan, highest CGPA in Psychology. M. Purna, Reet Kaur Brar, Bachelor of Science Honors in Psychology, Isha Raghav. Prajna Jaishankar. Riya Sendil Kumar. Satika Singh. T. Anshita. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Biological Sciences and Chemistry, Aishani Tiwari. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Biological Sciences and Environmental Studies, Ritvik Parekh. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Biological Sciences and Physics, Farhad Tarapur. G. Monisha. Pandey Ananya Avinash. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Biological Sciences and Politics, Arya Taumang. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Chemistry and Physics, Vipasha Vijaykumar Nayak. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Computer Science and Mathematics, Jetlia Sia Naresh. Vatsalya Betala. Bachelor of Science, Honors with Research in Computer Science and Sociology and Social Anthropology, Shiv Pillai, also the highest CGPA in 4-year development. Bachelor of Science Honors in Biological Sciences and Chemistry, Tendulkar Gayatri Ganesh. Bachelor of Science Honors in Biological Sciences and Data Science, S. Rohit. Bachelor of Science Honors in Biological Sciences and Environmental Studies, Krea Ashish Shinge. Parina Chetan Tamankar. Shiva Sabine. Bachelor of Science Honors in Biological Sciences and Psychology, Ananya Manoj Kumar. Sunita Makijani. Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Science and Data Science, Sparsh Makaria. Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Science and Economics, Dina Christina. Harsh Milin Dikshit. Maheshwari Arsh Anurag. Mitansh Agarwal. Nivedita R. Sanjana Mataparthi. Vinay Jain. Bachelor of Science Honors in Mathematics and Literature, Monu Singh. Bachelor of Science Honors in Psychology and Politics, R. Venkatraman. Bachelor of Science Honors in Psychology and Sociology and Social Anthropology, Bogavilli Rama Vaishnavi. Bachelor of Sciences in Biological Sciences, ML Ahmed Sarbatwala. Pramati Anand. Bachelor of Sciences in Chemistry, Priti Arvind. Bachelor of Science in Data Science, Kriti D. Shah. Tanisha Tayal. Bachelor of Science in Physics, Darshan R. Ranbir Shegal. Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Avya Kedia. Babel Triti, also highest CGPA scorer in psychology. Bora Mahika Manish. Nikita Rathod. Pari V. Kanthar. Tara Govil. Tisha Lalit Kumar. Ayom Srivastava. Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences and Literature, Anushka Pursnani. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Psychology, Tanisha Rati. Bachelor of Science in Data Science and Psychology, Lily Dhruv Sachin. Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Economics, J. Meenakshi. Sejal Barar.
We now come to the conferment of degrees on the students of the class of 2026 from the IFMR Graduate School of Business who have fulfilled the requirements for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree, the very first cohort to do so as part of the new Integrated Masters of Business Administration program. I now invite Professor Lakshmi Kumar, Dean, IFMR Graduate School of Business, to announce the names of this first cohort receiving undergraduate degrees in business administration today.
Thank you, Akila. Arya Agarwal. Abhiman D. Aditya Shivaram B. Agnes Dominic, Anushka Kapoor, she's part of the Dean's Merit List. Bhavya Dikshit, Caroline Kurian, she secured the first rank in the BBA program. Dhruvi Mahesh Tombe, Grandhi Amruta, Harini L, Hriday Shah, Ishita Vora, K. Hamsini, K. Sanjana, Neil Kadambi, Sarvesh, Shaswat Malviya, Shubhi Malviya, Sia Rohit Bubna, V. Gayatri, she's part of the Dean's Merit List. Vignesh Girish Nair, Yavnika Prakash,
Thank you, Professor Lakshmi. Today, we honor two extraordinary intellectuals and their landmark contributions to economics and international studies on the one hand, and technology and entrepreneurship on the other. It is Krea University's privilege to confer honorary doctorates upon these two great thinkers and doers on this day. First, I would like to request Dr. Vidya Bharati Rajkumar, Coordinator for the Discipline of Economics and Assistant Professor Economics, School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences, to felicitate Professor Kaushik Basu.
Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, and proud families. It is with pride and delight that Krea University presents one of its two honorary doctorates this year to Professor Kaushik Basu, economist, public intellectual, and policy maker of global significance. Born in Kolkata and educated at St. Stephen's College, Delhi, Professor Basu arrived at the London School of Economics for his doctorate. It was there that he came under the guidance of the scholar who would shape his intellectual formation most decisively, Professor Amartya Sen. Like his mentor, Professor Basu has spent his career insisting that the true test of economic reasoning lies not only in the elegance of its proofs, but also in the quality of lives it illuminates. Professor Basu's scholarly contributions span development economics, industrial organization, game theory, and welfare economics. His landmark 1998 paper on child labor, published in the American Economic Review, made a powerful point. When families send children to work out of poverty and not selfishness, a simple ban on child labor may not be enough. Real change requires moving the economy to a different state altogether. One where adult wages are high enough that families no longer need their children's earnings. This insight reframed the global debate, from banning child labor to tackling the poverty that makes it inevitable. The Traveler's Dilemma, which Professor Basu devised in 1994, showcases yet another profound insight. It's a puzzle in which two passengers are each asked independently to place a value on identical lost luggage. The twist is that each has an incentive to claim just a little less than the other to pocket a small bonus. Since both reason this way, they keep lowering their claim until both walk away with far less than their luggage was actually worth. Now, one of the most celebrated problems in modern game theory, the Traveler's Dilemma demonstrates that human instincts can, and often do, outperform the theories built to explain them. That these two ideas, one rooted in the lived reality of poverty and the other in the abstractions of formal theory, should come from the same scholar, speaks to the remarkable range of Professor Basu's intellectual imagination. His books, including Beyond the Invisible Hand and An Economist in the Real World, bear the hallmark of the best economic writing. Deeply rigorous, yet always accessible. Whether writing for academic journals or global outlets, including the New York Times, the BBC, and Project Syndicate, he has always proved that true depth is found in clarity and that careful economic thinking belongs in the public square. From 2009 to 12, Professor Basu served as the Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India, navigating the country's macroeconomic policy through the turbulent aftermath of the global financial crisis. He subsequently became the chief economist of the World Bank, the first Indian to hold that position, where he championed the first Indian to hold the position of the chief economist of the World Bank, he championed the concept of shared prosperity. His tenure reoriented the institution's measure of progress towards growth that demonstrably reaches the poorest 40% of each country's population. It was a declaration that development must be measured not in aggregate numbers alone, but in the lived experience of those furthest from opportunity. Professor Basu was awarded the Padma Bhushan by the President of India in 2008. He is a recipient of the Humboldt Research Award and the National Mahalanobis Memorial Award. A fellow of the Econometric Society and of the World Academy of Sciences, and he has served as the president of the International Economic Association from 2017 to 2021. He is currently a professor of economics and the Karl Marx Professor of International Studies at Cornell University. Krea University was founded on the belief that knowledge must be both rigorous and humane, that the deepest scholarship is always, in some sense, in service of the world. In honoring Professor Basu today, we recognize a career that has embodied precisely that belief, a career that has moved with equal distinction between the seminar room and the seat of the government, between the foundations of economic theory and the lives of the most vulnerable. It is a body of work that Krea is proud to honor. It is Krea University's privilege to confer upon Professor Kaushik Basu the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa in recognition of a scholar who has always understood that the measure of economics lies not in the elegance of its models, but in the dignity of the lives it helps to shape. I now invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nirmala Rao, to confer the honorary doctorate upon Professor Kaushik Basu. I now invite Professor Basu to address the gathering.
Vidya, I've been calling her that because I've known her. Vidya, thank you very much for the very, very generous introduction. Chancellor Lakshmi Narayan, Vice Chancellor Nirmala Rao, Professor Satya Chakravarti, graduating students, their families, and faculty. I feel a great sense of joy being with you on the occasion of Krea University's Convocation 2026. To students going out into the big wide world, as I said earlier, with a degree from one of the finest universities in the world, and to their parents and family gathered here to celebrate, I want to express my congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Krea University, for conferring on me the Doctor of Letters honoris causa. The only thing that can be better than writing a long dissertation and getting a doctorate degree is not having to write a dissertation and still getting a doctorate degree. I feel humbled and honored by this. I have lived and worked in different worlds, but academe is very special to me. As all researchers know, once you get into research, it grips you in the same way that painting a canvas grips an artist. So thank you, Krea, for rewarding me for doing what I would anyway do. Turning to the more general matter of education and research, I want to emphasize that the development of a nation and a country's economic growth rely on many things: capital and wealth, shoes and ships, cabbages and kings, armies and armament. These are all important, but the most important driver of progress often overlooked because it plays such a silent role, is knowledge and wisdom. For the students, as you go out into the world, life will no doubt bring surprises and challenges, but you are now equipped to deal with them. Education confers a nimbleness of mind that can be of great help. I know this from my own winding education and career path. In Kolkata, Delhi, Ithaca, back to Delhi working, Washington, and New York. How different these worlds are can be, I learned when I mentioned earlier and was mentioned by Divya just now. From academe, I broke from that and spent a few years in the government of India. I arrived in Delhi and realized that it's a totally different world. In fact, I took to writing a diary for the first time because that was a way to cope with the new world I was living in. There are several trivial and serious examples of the new world I had entered. Let me give you a trivial example. After I became chief economic advisor, as I got into my new government ambassador car, I tried to fasten the seat belt. My proud driver, who had been driving senior government officials for many years and knew that I was a professor who had come into this new world, looked very uncomfortable. Finally, he could not help himself. He turned to me and said gently, "Sir, now that you are a senior government official, you don't need to wear a seatbelt anymore." I never found out the logic behind this reasoning, but I realized I was in a new world. I did put on my seatbelt secretly, not letting him see. Even as I speak, I'm acutely aware, as must every thinking person be, that our world is navigating a turning point. With war, conflict, pandemics, and environmental decay, humanity faces the kind of challenge and risk that the dinosaur once faced. The dinosaur lived for 65 million years and then quickly went extinct. One difference between us, humans, and the dinosaur is our capacity for thought, analysis, and self-examination, our own behaviors. We can ask ourselves whether we need to change our own behavior and norms and institutions, and then try to design pathways for those changes. The key ingredients for this are science and knowledge, and also ethics and the moral compass. So to the students, I say, take advantage of your excellent education and do well in life for yourself and your family and friends. And also put in a little bit of effort into thinking about how to make the world a better place and a more equitable and fair place. Never abandon that moral compass. For the long run advance of humanity, the critical ingredient is ideas. As John Maynard Keynes, one of the greatest economists ever, had famously observed, indeed, the world is ruled by little else. At the core of it all is ideas. I'm aware of this from my own discipline, economics. Economics is a strange subject. It requires a mixture of common sense and precise analysis, as precise as you use in the sciences and engineering. It is a mistake some politicians make when they assume it is all common sense. We have seen disastrous episodes of hyperinflation in history, so rapid that the price of coffee would rise as you drank your cup of coffee. We saw this in Germany in 1923, in Hungary in 1946. These were completely avoidable disasters. We hope to have the sense never to tread those paths again. We saw the role that logic and good reasoning played during the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's a strange feeling I have because Justice Chandrachud referred to the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I can assure you there was no coordination in what we would talk about, but I did have this. When the world teetered on the brink of a nuclear war in 1962, There were many factors that prevented the crisis from escalating into a nuclear war. You heard one description earlier today. But among these many factors was a note, an academic sounding note prepared for President Kennedy by the famous economist and game theorist, and who would later on go to win the Nobel Prize, Thomas Schelling. This was an official document that Kennedy had requested about war and diplomacy. His thoughts played an important role in influencing President Kennedy's analysis. And the 1962, the secret recording of Kennedy talking to other people, if you read, it's a chilling reminder of the dangers and the powers of analysis and what that can do. And that really determined the outcome of the missile crisis as the guns and the bomb, as much as the guns and the bombs that were on the ready and never used. We have seen the strength of soft power and education through history. Athens may have lost to Sparta in the Peloponnesian War in the 5th century BC, but it won over the world for hundreds and even thousands of years, thanks to its staggering achievements in the world of knowledge, philosophy, geometry, mathematics, and the arts. The same was true of the Italian Renaissance, the rise of Great Britain during the Industrial Revolution, and over the last century, the rise of the United States. Weapons and armies played a role, but the critical driver was the rise of America's universities and centers of learning. As information technology and artificial intelligence break new grounds, higher education is going to be the critical determinant of which nations do well. It is impossible to overemphasize the importance of higher education and research. A handful of universities in India are beginning to play the role of nurturing this key ingredient of a nation's progress. Krea University belongs to that small group. So congratulations, Krea University, its students and professors. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Professor Basu. Our second honorary doctorate recipient, Professor Satya Chakravarti, cannot be with us in person today. He joins us online from France. I request the Chancellor, Mr. Lakshminarayanan, to felicitate Professor Satya Chakravarti.
Nice to see Professor Satya Chakravarti appearing online. I've known him for quite some time. And we, Professor, we at Krea University are proud to confer the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa upon you, Professor Satyanarayanan R. Chakravarti. An engineer, a scientist, an educator, and a nation builder, in recognition of your transformative contributions to aerospace engineering, combustion science, and deep technology entrepreneurship in India. Educated at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and the Georgia Institute of Technology, Professor Chakravarti has been a member of the faculty at IIT Madras since 1997. Over nearly 3 decades, he has played a pivotal role in strengthening the institution as a leading center for aerospace research and education, while mentoring generations of students, researchers, and innovators. A pioneer in combustion and propulsion, Professor Chakravarti's work spans areas of critical scientific and technological importance, contributing significantly to India's capabilities in aerospace engineering and energy systems and sustainable technologies. His research reflects a rare ability to bridge rigorous scientific inquiry with real-world application, translating complex ideas into technologies that are both innovative and impactful. An inspiring teacher and mentor, Professor Chakrabarti has consistently fostered a culture of curiosity, excellent, and purpose-driven inquiry. As the founder and head of the National Center for Combustion Research and Development, one of the largest such facilities in the world, he has built an institution that serves the nation's aerospace, automotive, and energy sectors alike. Professor Chakrabarti is also a distinguished entrepreneur and an institution builder. As co-founder and technical lead, and of course is the CEO of the E-Plane company, he is leading efforts to develop electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, reimagining urban mobility and advancing the possibilities of sustainable aviation. The company that was referred to recently mentioned by Jensen Huang during his GTC address. His work in this space reflects not only technological ambition, but also a forward-looking vision for more accessible, efficient, and environmentally responsible modes of transportation. His broader engagement with deep technology innovation, including the founding and mentoring of multiple ventures, such as Agnikul Cosmos and Galaxy, has helped shape a vibrant ecosystem that connects research, industry, and social needs. Through these efforts, he has played an important role in advancing the translation of cutting-edge research into scalable, real-world solutions, embodying the ideal of a scholar who transforms knowledge into impact. Krea University honors in him a rare mind, one that soars, builds, and inspires. We take great pride in conferring this honorary degree upon you, Professor Chakrabarti, and congratulations. May I invite you, Satya, to say a few words?
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, beloved students, and my dear friends at Krea University. First and foremost, I apologize for not being with you in person, as I had to be in Nice, France, for the Bharat Innovates event organized by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, held on the sidelines of the G7 summit that is coming up in the next couple of days. I stand before you today with humility and gratitude as I accept this honorary degree from Krea University. This honor is not merely a recognition of what I have accomplished, but a celebration of a shared belief that technology, when rooted in ethical purpose and interdisciplinary thinking, can transform how humans live, move, and connect. My journey has been defined by a deep tech entrepreneurship focus in the recent times on urban mobility, urban air mobility particularly, the vision of bringing flight down to the city level through eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. At the E-Plane company, we are working on making urban flight accessible, sustainable, and safe. With Tutor Hyperloop, we are exploring next generation transportation that could shrink distances between cities in what I would imagine as an intercity metro. At Agnikul Cosmos, we are pushing the boundaries of launch vehicle technology with 3D printed engines that are using LOX kerosene for the first time in India, and also attempting to have a recoverable first stage. Through Galaxy, we are building the satellite constellations for global Earth observation. Again, for the first time in the world, a sensor called Drishti that is combining optical and SAR sensors. And throughout this journey, as an aerospace engineering professor at IIT Madras and the head of the National Center for Combustion R&D, I've had the privilege of mentoring students who will define the future of aerospace. But none of this happens in isolation. It happens at the intersections between engineering and design, between policy and technology, between ambition and responsibility. And that's precisely why Krea University's vision of interwoven learning resonates so deeply with me. Krea's model, emphasizing creativity, critical thinking, and cross-disciplinary exploration, is not just an educational framework. It is the very mindset required to solve the challenges we face. Urban air mobility is not just an aerospace problem. It is a problem of urban planning, of environmental sustainability, of public acceptance, of regulatory innovation. It demands that we weave together knowledge from engineering, economics, ethics, and design. It demands leaders who can think across boundaries. I offer three thoughts as you navigate your own journeys at this point in this convocation. First, embrace deep tech. The world does not need more superficial solutions anymore. It needs breakthrough innovations that address humanity's hardest challenges: climate change, transportation, energy, health. Deep tech is not just about complexity, it's about courage to tackle problems that others say are unsolvable. In fact, with my PhD students in the last 30 years, the trick that I used to play was to not tell them that the problem that I'm asking to solve is not solvable. The ignorance that it cannot be solved is actually what makes them solve those problems. And that is actually true of all of you. The experience that the older people come with could actually be a baggage in today's circumstances. So it is very important for you to have a healthy questioning attitude about how a past experience could actually fit into the present and so on. Second, think interwoven. The challenges we face cannot be solved by engineers alone, or by policymakers alone, or by entrepreneurs alone. They demand collaboration across disciplines. They demand that you see yourself not as a specialist in one field, but as a thread in a larger tapestry of human knowledge. Third, lead with purpose. Technology without ethics is dangerous. Innovation without responsibility is reckless. The question is not, can we build it, but should we? And for whom? True leadership is measured by the depth of our commitment to truth, to justice, and to the dignity of every human being. What I have seen through multiple generations of teaching students is this generation that we are facing today in this convocation is endowed with this particular attribute that they do not think that we can't do things because it's not being done in the West. This particular generation is actually daring to shape the world from India. And what we actually do in India with the kind of economics that's required for it, the cost structures that are required for it, the price sensitivity of the Indian market, and the deep technology that's required for achieving these means that what is actually good for India is good for the world. And from here, we need to actually march towards global excellence. I offer my deepest thanks for this extraordinary honor to Krea University. Your commitment to reimagining education, valuing not just knowledge but wisdom, not just skills but character, aligns with the future I'm trying to build as well. Thank you for reminding me that the greatest achievements are not claimed for ourselves but shared with others. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Satya Chakravarti, for your inspiring words today. We look forward to formally presenting the honorary doctorate to you in person when you return. We hope you can also experience firsthand the healthy questioning of our Krea students. We now come to the conferment of degrees on students in the Master of Business Administration and doctoral programs in the IFMR Graduate School of Business. And I request Professor Madhuri Saripalle, Professor of Economics, IFMR Graduate School of Business, to announce the names of the graduates of the MBA program.
Thank you, Akhila. Abhay MS. Abhinav Agrihotri. Abhishek Shukla.
Abhinav Ramkumar S. Abhinaya NR. Adamya Sharma. Advait Saicharan A. Aditya Patni. Aditya is also the recipient of H.T. Parekh Award for all-round performance. Please put in a big hand for Aditya. Akhil Kumar. Alishan Asgar. Amal Koshi George. Amit Chandwani. Amritesh Verma. Anantika S. Ananya Parthasarathi. Anirudh RV. Anju Elizabeth John. Annam Amulya. Antorib Ghatak. Antara Krishna Dev. Anushka Gole. Anushri Raghuvanshi. Akina. Aravapalli Vijay. Areti Naga Sundara Krishna Chaitanya Kumar. Arjun Datta. Arnav Rahul Patil. Arundhati D. Aryan. Aryan Verma. Ashwin SM. Ayush Jaiswal. Ayush Mahajan. B. Nityashri. Bharat B. Bhavna Dhawan. B. Santosh Reddy. Brinda C. Chandan Gowda. Charvi Singh. Debesh Sarda. Debushri Bhaumik. Devanshu Das. Devendra Bharat Nikhare. Devi Priya. D. Yuktishri Prasanna. Digant Yadav. D. Trinath Babu. D. Sivashai Ganesh. G. Sri Ram. Geetika Tiwari. Gopesh Sarda. G. Suhasini Dinanath. Haddur Sai Dheeraj. Hardik Gupta. Hariharan M. Harsh Bansal. Harsh B. Shah. Harsh Varshney. Harshavardhini C. She is also in the Dean's Merit List. Harshit Lavanya. Harshit Singh. Harshit Kailash Lalla. Harshita Kailash. Himangi Pradhan. Ritik Verma. Inish Makijani. Ishita Rajput. J. Bhaskar. J. Nihal. Jeffin V.S. K. Venkata Harika. Kamal Tejwani. Kanhu Charan Panda. Karina Motwani. She's also in the Dean's Merit List. Kashish Jain. K. Varun Kumar. K. Atravraj Abhay. Khursan Iram. Khushbu K. K. Pranita, Korva Harish, Kotapalli Rishita Sai, Kaustav Goswami, Krati Gandhi, Kshitij Rakesh, Kulasekaran Rishivardhan, Kumar Eklavya, Kunal Khanna, Kunal Sen, Kunal Sharma, K. Kaundinya Sharma, Lakshya Jain, Manav Venugopal, Manisha, M. Sai Shri Aditya, Mohammad Akil Akhtar. He's also in the Dean's Merit List. Megdeep Nag, M. Praveena Bai, Mridubhashini Rajshekhar, Mohit Bhatt. Mohit is the first rank holder and CM Kothari Award winner. Please put in a big round of applause. Mukta Haldar, Mukul Singh Parihar, M. Akhil, Muskan Sodani, Nakul Raj, N. Akshay Reddy. Nandigam Pavan. Narendra Gupta. Naushin Sahana. Neil Dhirendra Doshi. Neelam Meghashyam. Netra Reddy M. Nikhil Agarwal. Nikita Chaudhary. Om Vijay Suryavanshi. P. Swastik Rao. Palak Agarwal. P. Kanduri Sri Chakri. P. Raj Akshay. Parag Sachdev. Parag is also in the Dean's Merit List. Parthiba Mani. Pennam Mani Kumar. P. Leela Prakash. Prageet Nair. Prajalit Gogoi. Pratiksha S. Preruna Jana. Priyanshi Saraf. P. Yashwant. R. Sunil. Raghavendra Narayanan. Rahul Dandwani. Rahul Kumar M. Raj Paresh Dave. Rakshit P. Dattani. Richard Vivedi. Rishi Raj. Rishi S. Rishi Srinivas. Ritam Sen. Ruchi Jadhav. I now request Professor Lakshmi Kumar, Dean of IFMR Graduate School of Business, to take over from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Madhuri. SVN Aditya. Sai Balakrishnan S. Samarth Agarwal. Sambhu Dasarkhel. Sameer Ahmad. Sanjay Nagar. Sandeepan Das. Sanjay Suresh. Santosh Kumar Male. Savio Travasso. Savio is part of the Dean's Merit List. Sayan Das. Shayana Mohapatra. Shivang Mudra. Shivani Pramod. Shreya Singha Roy. Shreyansh Ranjan. Sri Datri Mukherjee. Shrikande Arya Kamlesh Aditi. Shruti Kamalkar Vankar. Shubham Bhattacharya. Shubham is part of the Dean's Merit List. Shyam Sundar Gopalakrishnan. Shyam is also part of the Dean's Merit List. Siddhi Arora. Simha Vishnu G.R. Sneh Shruti. Soham Nandi. Sohini Sikdar. Shomeru Ponda. Sonali Patnaik. Soumya Mishra. Soumyadeep Saha. Saurabh Kumar Suntalia. Shri Trisha Roy. Srinithi M. Sirish. Sudipta Biswas. Suvin W. Suvin is part of the Dean's Merit List. Swati Srivatsava. Tamanna Nain, Thanaya Prashant Thakur, Tanya, Tanya Sinha, Tavri Prathamesh Bala Sahib, Tejaswini Karthikeyan, Urbi, V. Pradeep, Vansh Agarwal, Vatupali Teja, Vedant Ganesh Mohad, Venkata Pradeep Tigla, Venkatesh Rajesh Garalwar, Viraj Ravikiran Patil, Visam Sethi Tagore, Vivek Shankar, Y. V. Head Surya Kaushik, Yash Chowdhury, Yash Pandey. Yash Pandey gets the third rank and the AMM Arunachal Award. Yashi Oja, Zishan Abdul Malik, I will now move on to announce the names of the graduating class of the Executive MBA from Larsen and Toubro. Araga Pandian, Anuj Avasti, Arul Perumal, Ashok Manikandan, Dinesh Kumar, Gurala Harish, Kishore Balasubramani, Leo Stalin, Naresh Ravindran, Prabhu Rajan, Pushparaj V. He secures the first rank in the cohort. Raghu Veerman, Raghu Veerman, Rajendra Kumar, Ramu Selvam, Sanjeev Rao K, Sarat Kumar Perumal, Satish Tirunavakarsu, Sivaram, Saumian Keshavan, Subhadeep Mukherjee, T. Rishikesh Gururaj, he's part of the Dean's Merit List. Tushar Vishwakarma, Upada Ramu. Vijay Kumar. Vivek Vidyatharan. I now request Professor Shivakumar Srinivasan, Dean of Research, to read out the names of the recipients of the doctoral degree.
PhD degree. Swami Pratap Basu receives Doctor of Philosophy degree for his thesis titled Essays on the Impact of Insolvency and the Bankruptcy Code on Indian Firms.
Congratulations to all the graduates, we can call you that now. I would now like to invite student representatives across our programs to speak. First, I call upon Mr. Dhruv Raghavan, School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences.
Thank you, Professor. When we first stepped into college, we were newly minted adults and just trying to figure out our story, who we were going to be, and what we were going to do. 4 years down the line, we're not the same people who walked through those blue gates for the first time. And in a few years, we're not going to be the same people that we are now. I think of a question that I once saw on the poster in the academic block that has stuck with me since. Who are you when nobody's watching? I think that's the question we've all been trying to answer in our time here. Who or what is our most authentic self? And in that process, we found our place here through the courses we took and the activities we pursued. And it's exciting to think that we've had the chance to live with and watch firsthand some of the most passionate people doing some of the coolest things possible. So from performing, playing sports, founding startups, running student organizations, building something new, and helping others. To give a personal example, when I was in the Ministry of Learning of our student government, we would receive multiple academic queries a day. And as we all navigated an interdisciplinary environment, we had a wide buffet of options and a lot to figure. And so we helped create a resource document that would be helpful to students to figure out credits, course registrations, and address all the queries we might have. And then in doing so, find the breadth that we needed in eclectic combinations of courses and the depth we needed in our majors. And in the process, I learned from the faculty and administration and had the privilege to serve my batchmates. Likewise, there are many others in this very room who strive to build new things and curate the perfect experience for all students. And it wasn't always just what we were training to do through our degree. We had the chance to be a part of institution building here that wouldn't really be possible in more traditional colleges. So, in a way, even after we're gone, what we leave behind will connect us invisibly to the batches that come. And while others might have some more defined pathways, we moved beyond restrictive labels and chose to explore and figure ourselves out. And some of us may have already found some answers, and some of us may still be figuring it out. And that's okay. We came to Krea with a promise of preparing for an unpredictable world. And part of that is in not knowing and not having all the answers. Being comfortable with ambiguity is one of the greatest lessons we can leave with, no matter where we go, whether it's higher ed, the corporate world, or starting something of our own. And because that's what makes us adaptable. And it's okay to take it one step at a time, living in the moment as it passes by. Our time here was one such moment, and now we have our whole lives ahead of us. The first steps may be daunting, but if anyone's capable of surviving and thriving, I believe it's us, the soon or now alumni of Krea University. To quote Monica from my favorite sitcom Friends, welcome to the real world. It sucks, but you're gonna love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv Raghavan. I now call upon Ms. Anushka Kapoor, student of IFMR Graduate School of Business's IMBA program, class of 2026.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, faculty members, parents, families, friends, and my fellow graduates. Today, standing here, I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of the BBA class of 2026. But honestly, I think all of us are still trying to figure out one thing. We actually made it. Today is not just a graduation. Today is a day that will forever be a part of IFMR GSB at Krea University's history. Years from now, there will be hundreds, maybe thousands of BBA graduates, but there will only ever be one first batch, and that's us. The truth is, being the first cohort was not always easy. We were the trial run. We were the batch where the new courses appeared, ideas were tested, systems changed, and sometimes nobody really knew what would happen next, including us. But that's what makes today special. We weren't just the students of the program. In a small way, we helped build it. And I think the faculty deserves a huge round of applause as well. Because while we were figuring out how to be BBA students, many of them were still figuring out how to teach students who were much younger than the MBA and executive MBA professionals they were used to teaching. We learned together, we adapted together, and somehow it all worked out. But if I'm being honest, when I think about these past years, I won't remember every lecture or every exam. I'll remember the mandatory midnight walks to nursery that somehow became campus tradition. I'll remember sleeping in my friend's room and getting better sleep there than in my own bed. I'll remember us being master chefs at 1 a.m. because we all decided that mess food was not an option that day. I remember sitting in someone's room for what was supposed to be a 10-minute assignment discussion that somehow turned a 3-hour discussion about life, careers, relationships, and absolutely everything else. Those moments turned classmates into friends and friends into family. To our parents sitting here tonight, thank you. Every achievement we celebrate belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. And to my batchmates, we came here as strangers, but today we leave as the first ever graduating BBA batch of IFMR GSB. We have led clubs, organized events, survived deadlines, survived group projects, and most importantly, we survived each other. And somehow, through all of that, we created something special. So when people ask years from now what it was like to be the first BBA batch, I hope they don't just remember us for being the first. I hope they remember us as the batch that set the benchmark, the batch that laughed loudly, dreamed boldly, showed up for one another, and left this place better than we found it. Class of 2026, this is our moment. Let's make sure that wherever life takes us next, IFMR GSB is proud to say they were our first. Thank you and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Anushka Kapoor. I now call upon Mr. Abhinav Ramkumar S., student of IFMR Graduate School of Business's MBA program, class of 26.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to welcome our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Justice Chandrachud, our respected Vice Chancellor, Chancellor, and Dean Professor Lakshmi Kumar, our MBA Chair, distinguished faculty members, members of the Krea University Management, proud parents, and my fellow graduates. Today is a special day for all of us. Standing here on behalf of the MBA graduating batch is both an honor and a responsibility that I deeply cherish. As I look back, it feels like just yesterday that our MBA journey began with Praram. What started with nervous introductions, uncertainty, and excitement has now brought us to this proud moment of convocation. These 2 years have been nothing short of transformational. Our MBA life was much more than classrooms and grades. It was about learning to balance academics, competitions, committees, internships, placements, friendships, and countless deadlines. It was about those late night study sessions before exams, the panic of missing a quiz, and the endless calculation on whether we could somehow manage to miss just one more class without crossing the attendance limit. But beyond academics, it was also about the little moments that truly made this journey memorable. The days we eagerly waited for the mess menu to surprise us, the hostel room debates, the perimeter walk, and of course, who can forget our collective talent in bargaining with auto drivers outside campus. We immersed ourselves in every opportunity that came our way. We enjoyed the events organized by the clubs and committees, passionately negotiated with Office of Student Life for approvals, participated in cultural activities, sports tournaments, and celebrated victories together. Alongside this, we also witnessed the growth of our campus, the new academic building, the new gym, and the construction of new residence hall. Watching these additions come to life alongside our own journey made our time here even more special. Personally, these 2 years have given me memories and milestones that I will cherish forever. I had the privilege of becoming a national winner representing IFMR JSB Krea University alongside my teammate Tejaswini Karthikeyan in the case competition conducted by JP Morgan Chase. Also gained valuable industry exposure through my internship at Bank of New York and finally securing a placement with Barclays. Beyond academics and career achievements, being a part of sports committee and speakers club allowed me to develop leadership, teamwork, and communication skills that will stay with me throughout my professional journey. On behalf of the graduating batch, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the faculty members, staff, administration, and the entire management of IFMR GSB Krea University. Thank you for guiding us, challenging us, supporting us, and believing in us throughout this journey. To our parents and families, thank you for your unwavering encouragement, sacrifices, and faith in us. This achievement belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. As we step into the corporate world, we carry with us not just a degree, but the values, experiences, and identity that IFMR GSB has given us. Wherever life takes us, we will proudly carry the IFMR GSB tag and strive to uphold its reputation through our actions and achievements. Today marks the end of one chapter, but it is also the beginning of many new journeys. Congratulations to the MBA graduating batch. May we continue to grow, learn, lead, and make our alma mater proud. Thank you and wishing everyone success and happiness in the years ahead. MBA 2024-26 signing off.
Thank you, Abhinav Ramkumar. I now request the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nirmala Rao, to administer the Krea graduation oaths. Graduating students, please rise for the oath and please repeat after the Vice Chancellor.
So graduates, time to take your oath, as Akhila said. So please repeat after me. I make a promise today to live and work ethically with compassion, integrity, and conscience. I will be fair and treat everyone fairly. I will help and support those in need, readily, unconditionally, and without judgment. I will always nurture and keep hope alive through my passion and commitment. Thank you. All the very best. Thank you.
Let's all rise or stay standing for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय
I declare the convocation closed.
Dear graduates, we come to an exciting moment for you. Your caps and gowns symbolize your unification as learners when you throw them in the air together, not now, at my cue. You both mark an important milestone and embrace what lies ahead for you in your careers and lives. So please pay careful attention. After I count down from 3 to 1 and say go, you toss. Okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Congratulations, graduates. On behalf of Krea University, many thanks to you and your families, our distinguished dignitaries, board members, faculty, staff, and student volunteers for making this event truly special. The academic procession will now leave the venue. I request you all to rise and remain standing until the procession leaves the auditorium.
The formal ceremony has drawn to a close. We request everyone to head to the refreshments counter where high tea has been arranged for everyone.